Story 1. The idea that there has to be a point in an organism's life is an artificial human construct. Biological organisms, among all other animals, are here to efficiently consume energy and live. This was the original goal of our billions of years old ancestor RNA molecules. We are nothing more than a mechanical system made of organic components, just like a virus, a rabbit, or a tree. Story 2. How should we live? We need to examine that life. The easy answer is that the purpose of life is to work toward figuring out the purpose of life, but that just avoids the question. There is a dichotomy. You choose between accepting someone else's answer and committing yourself to fulfilling it, spending your life trying to achieve a borrowed ideal, or embracing the question itself and spending your life learning, comparing, and synthesizing information you have gathered to formulate your own answer. You might also make some money along the way by selling your notes to people who prefer the first option. We have some good notes collected. Murder is universally condemned, for example. Stealing is unacceptable. Loving people and helping the downtrodden receives positive recognition. Exercise. Take care of your teeth. Get enough sleep. Don't drink too much alcohol. Many good pieces of advice are common knowledge. But what is the point? There is still insufficient information for a meaningful answer. There is a lot of information, however incomplete, so your first step should be to gather knowledge. You can't get it all. There is not enough time to read everything, and no one has the mental capacity to understand it all. So the better, yet still unsatisfactory, answer is to just try your best. Keep pushing that rock forever. Or choose the belief that resonates with you and become a vessel for that idea. Chase money, chase dominance, chase esteem, chase salvation. It is equally futile, but the difficulty can be managed more easily if you have a way to measure your progress. That is why people like golf. You will never do it perfectly, but you can improve and compare your performance against your friends. Story 3. To understand the universe, think about it. Why else would we come about in an infinite void unless that void wants us to figure it out? Story 4. The answer is 42. That is, to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. Story 5. When you realize you are no different than any other animal, when you understand you are just flesh responding to chemicals and following your basic needs, and when you see that most things people worry about, along with most of your dramas and concerns, do not really matter, then life will make sense. Also, abandon religions. Like it or not, Friedrich Nietzsche was entirely right when he said hope was the greatest enemy of mankind. You need to spend some time in darkness until you can see things more clearly again. Believe that you will become a much happier person once you let go of some of the dogmas and illusions that bind us. Story 6. The point is to give your life meaning. This may sound depressing to some. Ultimately, life does not have a purpose beyond survival. But it is what you do and how you treat others that gives life meaning. What you do does not have to be big or grand. A small, humble life is also valuable as long as you are happy. If you are not happy, then for a while at least, the purpose of life is to try to find some bit of happiness. Just live as well as you can, as hard as that may be. Story 7. It is different for everyone. There is no universal meaning of life unless you are religious, in which case see the appropriate religious texts. Ultimately, life has whatever meaning you give it, and sometimes that can be scary. I always remind myself that we are only here once, as far as we know. Do your best to make the most of the time you have. Story 8. I don't think life has one universal point. It's like a sandbox game. There is no fixed mission. You just explore, mess around, connect with people, try things, feel emotions, and maybe leave the place a little better than you found it. Some people chase happiness. Others chase meaning. The point is not to figure it all out, but to live in a way that makes the journey worth it for you and for the people you encounter along the way. Story 9. Some wordplay. The universe is made of matter, so you matter too. I know it sounds dumb, but I have been wanting a chance to say that for a while. Story 10. Just a little thing I've been working on. What if the whole point of life is to light up all the lights you can in hopes that everyone's light becomes lit? But that's a never-ending goal. It's meant to always be a continuous thing to strive for. The whole point is to not let darkness destroy everything. All the lights can never be lit at once. It's not an obtainable goal, but it's better than darkness destroying all instead of just the few who don't want to be lit. Immagine acante. A lot of them together scare away the darkness. One only glows, but one can light another, and that one can light another. Light as many candles as you can, and you have lots of light. If a candle burns too slowly, it fills with wax, causing it to burn a lot slower or go out from not enough wick. Now it may burn slower in isolation, but what kind of life is it to be alone and live forever, never meeting new faces or doing new things? You need other candles around to help burn at the right pace so you're bright. It's okay to step back and slowly burn sometimes, to sit and think and enjoy the experience you've had so far. But do too much or hang around too many candles and you'll burn out a lot sooner. So you have to balance it all out. Don't live too fast. Don't live too slow. Find somewhere as close to the middle as you can. Protect your flame from others. Don't spend all your time trying to light a candle that doesn't want to be lit or can't be, or you'll waste a lot of your own precious time for nothing. Don't do stupid things to break your candle. Don't break others' candles. Maybe you can become unlit and have to sit in darkness and still be fine. When others reach out to help you, either take the help or let them go on their way so you're not wasting their flame. Things like disease and drugs are more like a sort of accelerant. They'll burn your candle faster. Sometimes you can choose that to happen. Sometimes it just happens because your wax is less thick or you're just a smaller or shorter candle. Which doesn't matter because all light is good light. It may help to discover new things out in the unknown darkness to stop some of those bad things from making us burn up so fast. But withholding that and not just helping fellow candles is the same as dampening someone's light. Don't do that because it may lead to the candle doing something to break itself, and a broken candle is good for no one. If a candle breaks another candle, it shouldn't be extinguished. But if it breaks multiple, it should be extinguished, for it is a danger to the table it sits on. It could mess up and burn the whole table that all the candles sit on. When the whole house burns up, maybe there's a lot of big light, but then when it's all burned up, no more fuel, darkness takes over, and that's bad. Keep making new candles to replace the ones that burned up or broke. Always keep their light shining as brightly as you can, but also keep them balanced so they don't go too quickly. Story 11. I think that we all create our own personal meaning of life. I am honestly comforted by there not being some cosmic purpose for humanity because it means I have the freedom to do whatever I want with my life. Story 12. Being happy and making those around you as happy as possible without the use of any alcohol or substances. Story 13. I personally think that a human being thrives when they are giving of themselves, whether as part of a family, in a job that makes the world a better place, doing volunteer work, or simply going out of their way to be kind to others. Story 14. Enjoying yourself. Your consciousness is a miracle of the cosmos on a level you cannot even understand. 99.99999% of the matter in the universe just exists and cannot think. As far as we know, Earth is the only planet that produced creatures that can think. Even among those creatures, you are a tiny minority of the biomass. So enjoy it while it lasts. It is the least you can do. Story 15. The point is what you make it. Exist and try to find a way to enjoy it without hurting others. It is not always easy. Story 16. I have been thinking about this a lot lately because I feel like I am done. I had a difficult childhood, moved out when I was 18, and I am approaching retirement. The best thing I did in this life was have a child and provide her with as good a life as my spouse and I could afford. He also grew up poor. I have no grandchildren and never will. Already, I feel like I am just done. I cannot stand work anymore and look forward to not doing it, but I do not necessarily look forward to retirement either. I am just done. Wait to die. Is that it? Story 17. I think we are just a bunch of cells that continue to multiply until we cease to exist and then decompose back into the earth. Once a new life form is ready, developed enough cells to hold memories, consciousness, and the ability to learn, we become that entity, whatever it may be, until it eventually withers. It is beautiful until it is not, because now we are hurting our only planet that can do this. What if we are the only thing out there ever able to do this? An infinite amount of time passed before us. Many stars have died, as we have seen, but did anything else die with them? Did they have the exact coordinates in space and time to replicate what we have? I mean, really, what actually are we? Story 18. In my opinion, there is no cosmic purpose to life. We are all here trying to navigate this complex world, chasing fleeting moments of joy. Maybe that is the purpose itself. To ride the wave of chaos, to create, love, hurt, learn, grow, and repeat. Just because there is no grand scheme does not mean life is pointless. Live your life your way. Story 19. The purpose of human life is to choose where you will spend eternity, either with the creator of all life, sustenance, and love, or separated forever. Story 20. A wave does not get born from the sea. It is just a part of the sea. It exists only to be a wave. It does not break away from the sea to become an independent thing. Once it ends, it goes back to the sea. Humans think they are separate beings from the universe, but we are just waves. We are here and then we are gone. There is no point to all of it. It just is. Story 21. You seem to be hoping for an inherent meaning. Ultimately, I suspect there is none. It is best to live by a set of morals of your own choosing and see how that plays out. Story 22. To recall Britney Spears twirling around when I am stuck in a 100-degree-plus traffic jam, I try to stay positive and alert. Story 23. Whatever you decide it is for all intents and purposes. In the entirety of all matter in existence, somehow your matter came together into a life form that can think and feel. The matter and molecules that comprise your current body pre-existed you and will exist after you die. What is consciousness? What is time? Life after death? What does it matter? We are all just matter after all. By living and moving matter around, we serve a grand purpose. Being conscious and having the chance to experience is the cherry on top. That being said, I have had a privileged life. Many people have lived lives full of sadness and despair. Some have chosen to die rather than live, and countless others have had their lives taken from them without choice. What does it all mean? What is it all for? If I know, I do my best to appreciate the astronomically small chance that I have been given to be sentient and experience not only love and happiness, but also loss and sadness. In summary, I do not know the answers, but even in this difficult world, I feel lucky to have been given the chance to ponder these questions. Story 24. The depressed American in me says it is to feed capitalism and then get the privilege of making my family figure out how to afford burying my corpse. Realistically, though, it is probably to just help the universe experience itself. Story 25. Whatever you want. People have a tendency to try putting answers to everything, so that is where the inherent thought would come from. But things just exist. Enjoy it. Very lucky indeed. Story 26. If there is no God, then there is none. If there is a God, then he defines the purpose of human life. Story 27. Open world game. Choose your own adventure. Walking simulator. Farming simulator. Pay to win. Permanent death. The point is to deal with that last one in whatever way you see fit. Story 28. Nothing has any understandable reason beyond cause and effect. There may be purpose, but it is entirely beyond comprehension and certainly does not align with human values. What, do you think the universe was going to do what you wanted just because you can use tools and speak? Story 29. Basically the same as every other animal. To love, to breed, adapt, and survive. While nature, people, and everything else are trying to kill you, our original purpose was to coexist with nature and protect the planet. However, at some point, we went off course because a certain group of people created a system to control everyone else and turn them into consumers, drones that lack compassion and empathy. Think of it like this. If the world was a wheel and every animal and bug was a spoke, every time you lose one, it weakens the integrity of the wheel, damaging the ecosystem. The only spoke that doesn't fit in the wheel is humans. This is why we are supposed to be the protectors of the system instead of the destroyers of it. Story 30. Life is a test. We are meant to be stewards on this earth, to uphold justice, care for creation, and build a world based on ethical foundations. Story 31. love, experience, emotion. There really is no point, and that is part of the beauty. Go lie on a beach and smoke a marijuana cigarette one night. Eat some psilocybin mushrooms too if you can find them. Story 32. It also depends on what you want to hear, based on your life experiences. The purpose of life is to find bliss within. Kings would give up their thrones, and queens their beauty, just to taste a single drop of that bliss. Story 33. Same as any living thing. We are just here. How you want to spend your time here is up to you. In the grand scheme of things, we are barely even a blip on the radar. But I will be damned if I waste the time I have being miserable as a junkie, an inmate caged for a pointless life, or as an unmotivated person who never tries and wonders why life is so hard. Story 34. No real point to human life as a whole. The point of your existence is to find what makes you happy while respecting the happiness of others. For me, that is through relationships with others and human passion and creativity. For you, it may be knitting. Have you tried knitting? Story 35. Just enjoy your experience. There is a different answer to that for everyone. What other types of life experience do you have? Story 36. I am a master's student in religion. I have always been particularly fond of Spiritism's view, which is that learning drives spiritual evolution across lifetimes for a higher self, which is a superset of our current mind and experiences. I live by that to some degree. Story 37. This is one of those deep questions humans have tried to answer for ages that is just so boring to me. There is no point of human life, at least not some external purpose type point. Life is whatever you make of it. It is just cause and effect, evolution, physics, and so on. Story 38. As the most intelligent creatures on the planet, I would have thought the purpose of human life is to preserve all other life. Story 39. Apart from your responsibilities, it is an experience to see this creative earth with the perspective of being the most intelligent species in the world. Talk, laugh, express yourself, do what you like, eat what you like, act how you like, and so on. Story 40. There is no point in life. Society encourages people to do daily tasks to achieve a normal life. Life may seem meaningless, but somehow we are all still here, if you understand my point. Story 41. To have connection with others. Everything else is material. The only thing of true value is the experiences you create with people you love. Nothing else truly matters. Story 42. Read the Catechism of the Catholic Church. I am not a practicing Catholic anymore, though I want to be so badly, but it is very good. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.